Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Tamworth Borough Council Cabinet. A reminder to members that the meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. Apologies for absence have been received from Councillor Dave Foster, and I note we have everybody else here, so that's fine. Item 2, the minutes of the previous meeting, and this is the meeting that was held on the 18th of September. They're here for approval. Can I request a mover? Councillor Clark and a seconder, Councillor Smith. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Should maybe asked if there was anything anybody wanted to bring up on the minutes, so you're happy with them, that's fine. Thank you. Item 3, declarations of interest. Any declarations to be declared? No. Item 4 is question time, and there aren't any questions that have been submitted to us. Item 5 is matters referred to the Cabinet in accordance with the overview and scrutiny procedural rules. And we do have a report from the Chair of Infrastructure, Safety and Growth Scrutiny, but we will look at this report as an appendix to the market policy and future operations options report in the exempt part of the main meeting. So thank you to Councillor Couchman for bringing this to us, and we'll let her know the outcome of it. So items, are we, excuse me, sorry, do we need to vote that we put that to the, no we don't, it says it on the papers, that's fine. Thank you. So item 6 is Future High Street Fund update. So you've got the paper in front of you outlining the process on the individual projects on the Future High Street Fund. As you can see, we're coming into the home stretch, and I just, for the benefit of the people who may be watching out there, I'd just like to highlight a few of the main points on the project. So on the section Middle Entry Flex, which we are now calling Town Hall Place, the paving work around Town Hall Place was completed in August. The snagging on the units is now resolved, and it's pleasing to say that leases have now been issued to our new tenants. It's really exciting to see the kind of things that we will get in there. Yeah, the people who have come forward have been really interesting. We've got an artisan pet accessory shop. Are we calling them shops, or they're sort of shops, aren't they? An antiques, a what? A business, yeah. An antiques vintage collectible business. We've got a couple of food units and a desktop gaming business and a haberdashery. So it's really exciting to get those businesses into the town centre, changing the offer that we've got. And the remainder of the public realm is due to be completed soon. The Castle Gateway, that project has seen the relocation of Nationwide across the road and the demolition of their old site. The old bridge has now been replaced with a larger, more attractive gateway to the castle grounds. The planting around the area is, I think it is completed, but it's saying by the end of October. And the pictures that I've seen, the videos that people have taken and uploaded to Facebook are absolutely amazing. The place looks really spectacular. I'm sure you're all aware of the issues we've had with the Market Street properties, which are part of that. And this was purely down to the state of the properties when the contractors went inside to do their initial investigation, because it was so much worse than anticipated. And as listed buildings, we have had to do lots of consultation on all the work that we want to do there. So, interestingly, for people who may be watching, is our most recent hurdle we had to overcome was whether the building was home to bats. But fortunately, none were found, and the work will commence soon. The College Quarter, this project included Tech 2, which was our first thing that got completed, and tenants are now utilising that building. The fabulous college is completed and open for business, and on Saturday several of us attended because we had our last Let's Talk Tamworth there on Saturday morning, and we all had a tour around the building. Absolutely fabulous facility, a real asset to Tamworth. Anyone who hasn't had a chance to go, I would encourage you to go. Finally, St Edith's Square, and this has been where we've had the most snagging issues. As you can see from the report, we've had to find replacements for the initial bollards that were installed. We've done consultation on what's best for the square, and we hope that we found a permanent solution and it will be in place as soon as possible. Cabinet will be aware that Councillor Arkney and myself raised concerns over the planters in the church square by Market Cafe and the butchers. We felt they were too close to the shop, blocked the entrances, and were generally a trip hazard. And I have had an email today to tell me that at least one of them is now has been removed. So in the next couple of weeks, that will all be sorted, which is really, really good. With regards to the finances on this, our obligations on the government funding we received was all spent within the time agreed. So we've met that deadline, and the remaining works to be completed will be financed from the money that TBC initially allocated for the project. Are there any questions on the report? No? Right. So it is for the committee to note the progress and the challenges of the programme of works. Can I have a mover? Councillor Arkney, and a seconder, Councillor Adams. All those in favour? Thank you very much. So item 7 is Better Homes for Tamworth, Housing, Homelessness and Rough Sleeping Strategy 2025 to 2030, and this is the report of Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Chair. So as you mentioned there, I'm presenting the Combined Housing, Homelessness and Rough Sleeping Strategy from 2025 to 2030. This 5-year plan sets out how we will ensure that everyone in Tamworth has access to a safe, affordable and sustainable home that supports their health and well-being. The strategy is framed around 5 strategic priorities, the first being increasing housing supply, including social and affordable homes, raising quality and accessibility of homes across all tenures, tackling hazards and supporting vulnerable residents, preventing and relieving homelessness with stronger early intervention pathways, ending rough sleeping through effective outreach and a housing first approach, and boosting energy efficiency and tackling fuel poverty, supporting climate resistance and reducing household costs. These priorities reflect the evidence gathered through the housing market review, resident consultation and partner engagement, including the feedback from the Home Summit earlier this year. The strategy builds on our achievements since 2020, since the commissioning of the Home Hub, expanding winter relief, introducing mediation services and piloting the house project for care leavers. While the strategy has no direct financial implications, delivery of it will require ongoing investment and partnership working with resource needing to be reviewed and reported through business cases. Risks such as rising demand and funding pressures are addressed through flexible action planning and biannual reviews. So the ask for the Cabinet is to approve the strategy for publication, endorse the evidence base in the action plan, support the equality, social inclusion, health impact assessment, and delegate authority to myself as portfolio holder to identify future resourcing needs. To summarise, this strategy provides clear evidence-led direction for the next 5 years. It aligns with our corporate plan by protecting the environment, supporting community wellbeing and tackling inequality. And I just want to shout out all of the work that's gone into it, from councillors involved in the Home Summit to officers putting it together, to Tina and all of the team. Yeah, it sets out what we need to do, so we've just got to go and do it now. I'll hand over to Tina.
Thank you for that, Councillor Clark. Really good piece of work, and a really important piece of work. It looks like we're going in the right direction, so thank you to everyone involved in that. And we do have our tenant and leaseholder conference coming up next week, don't we? So we'll keep that momentum going with talking to our residents. So Councillor Clark has read out the recommendations. I'll take Councillor Clark as the mover. A seconder, please. Councillor Smith. All those in favour? Thank you. So item 8 are the car park options report, and this report will be presented by Councillor Arkney, the portfolio holder for infrastructure and local economy. Thanks, Nova.
Thank you, Carol. So this is a report which follows the car parking changes we made at the end of last year. So we changed the fees and charges at the end of 2024. And as a result of that, there are 3 recommendations, and I'll read them out and explain them. So the first one is to approve the amendment of the parking fee structures on Spinney School Lane car park, Lower Gungate car park and Church Lane car park to accommodate an all-day parking option in the short stay car parking. So originally the car parks had been allocated as not all-day parking to try and encourage people that were working in the town centre to park further away and therefore get better value for money and encourage more people to come and park in the day. But we've had lots of feedback which we've listened to from business owners and people working in the town centre to say that wasn't really working for them. So this is one of the recommendations. The second recommendation is to approve the incorporation of Tamworth Borough Council's land off Marmion Street. This is behind Penny Black, so it's off the Gungate car park, and we want to incorporate this into the off-street parking orders, which will mean we're allowed to enforce parking restrictions, because at the moment people park there and we can't charge them, we can't enforce any parking restrictions, and that's unsustainable. So that's the second recommendation. And the third is to approve a change of payment options on the Jolly Sailor car park to a pay by phone and card payment only. And we've discussed this at length, but the Jolly Sailor car park King machines have had lots of issues over the last while, which flooding, which have caused, it costs us a lot of money to replace it all of the time, so this will help us to overcome that. I can hand to Anna if anyone's got any questions.
Thank you. If I could just make one other observation. Over the last sort of 10 days, we've had a spate of thefts across a number of our car parks. We've had car parking machines drilled into, some cash boxes removed, not all, but the ones where they haven't been removed, there's still a lot of damage that requires us to obviously go out and replace those parts or machines in full. So I just wanted to make that point, that there is maybe a further issue around car parking and cash payments that we might need to look at in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Anna. I think we're keen that we do something about that, because we can't carry on if it's going to be a long-term thing, and once people start realising that they can do it, yeah, so we can do that as soon as possible and look at what we need to do to make that safe. Thanks. So are there any questions, Manova? Yes, Sarah.
Thanks, Carol. More an observation than a question, if that's all right. One thing I really like about this report, like the previous one, is the you said we did, and the fact that it's clear there's been a lot of consultation asking people who are using this, it's evidence-based to come to these decisions. It's not, oh, I wonder if. And I really appreciate that with this to kind of come to these recommendations now, so thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? No? If we take Nova as the mover, then can I have a seconder? Councillor Adams, all those in favour? Thank you very much. The next item, item 9, is the establishment of budgets for Ankerside Shopping Centre, and this again is Councillor Arkney to present.
Thanks, Carol. I'm going to hand to Paul quite quickly on this one, because this is a little bit more technical and I want to make sure that everyone gets the right information. But as we all know, we overtook Ankerside at the end, it's nearly a year ago, somehow, last year, and ever since then we have had New River and Knight Frank managing the centre for us, and it's probably not that surprising to hear that it hadn't come back to us in the best condition, and so we have got some expenditure to approve for Ankerside, which is linked to health and safety mostly, but I will pass to Paul because I want him to explain it a bit more fully.
Yeah, no, thanks, Councillor Arkney. I mean, I think sort of the key points of this report is around establishment of a baseline budget for the centre, which is more of a, I suppose, a housekeeping arrangement at this stage. So as it stands, we've been using sort of movement of budgets between reserves and income stream to offset expenditure. So we really need a proper budget line in the budget book alongside all the other budgets we hold in there. So that's I suppose the sort of the key recommendation in there is around setting up that sort of headline budget, and that will also see the return of those reserves back into the reserves. So those have been the reserves we've drawn down from to do the spending. But as Councillor Arkney says, there are also some works that are required in the property, so we're also looking for a release of some additional funding from those reserves to address capital items of work. And some of those are around things like fire doors, works to lifts, electrical installations, and certain health and safety type items that we need to get done sooner rather than later. I think it's fair to say there's probably been a lack of investment in the centre over a good many years. So really, this is picking up those items to just make sure that we have sort of the key health and safety items covered off at this stage. And as you'll be aware, we are doing further survey works through Knight Frank and their surveyors just to establish a sort of a more detailed programme of works in the property. Thank you.
Thanks for that. I think everyone knew that when we took Ankerside back, it was not going to be an easy and swift proposition to get it re-established, if that is at all possible. But if we didn't, we also knew that if we didn't do it and the place went bankrupt, then we felt we had a duty to the people who were in there, the businesses that were running. So we've done as much as we can. We're now looking at getting that work done. I do find it appalling that work is health and safety stuff and it hadn't been done by the previous people, and we've been left to pick that up. But so be it. We need to make sure that it's in a fit condition for our residents and businesses to be in there. Are there any questions on this? Right, the recommendations then. Do you want to read them out? Yeah.
It's recommended that 1, Cabinet recommends to full council the establishment of the budget as set out in the report. 2, Cabinet recommends to full council the return of £1,123,000 from the current operating budget to reserves. 3, Cabinet approves the release of £520,000 from reserves to fund urgent health and safety works that have been identified by the centre managers, and adds the works to the capital programme.
Moved by Councillor Arkney, seconded Councillor Smith. All those in favour? Thank you. You have that. So we now go on to exclusion of the press and public. That members of the press and public be now excluded from the meeting during consideration of the following item on the grounds that the business involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of Part 1 of Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act 1972 as amended. Can I request a mover? Councillor Arkney, a seconder. Councillor Daniels, all those in favour? Thank you. Thank you to people who've been watching, but we'll now close the meeting.